Hi students, welcome to second year commerce class. In our previous class we have discussed about characteristics of management. In this class we are going to discuss about objectives and nature of management. See, management is a task of or say process of getting the things done through others. So it is a lengthy and complicated process. You must have a lot of experience and knowledge in order to be part of management. It is not a common man's, ordinary person's subject. And we have also discussed that it is a discipline at the master's level. When you go for post graduation, you got a separate stream of management studies. So that all we have discussed yesterday in our previous class. So here let us discuss about objectives of management. Means once you learn management and you adopt the techniques of management and you introduce that system of management into your organization, why should we do this? What is the aim of management? What should be our objectives? So the objectives of management are divided into three categories. Organizational objectives means objectives related to your organization. For example, you are managing a college. You are the owner of the college. So what you will have? You will have a management system in the college. You will appoint a principal, or you as a owner, you become the principal of the college. You will have a vice principal. You will have office staff. Some floor in charges, lecturers, junior lecturers, clerks. All these people will be there. So what will be your goal when you appoint and when you assign the task to these people? So in general, every organization has the aim of earning profits. Okay. So as a whole, organization's goal will be earning profits, expanding their business, improving their efficiency. Okay. See, because all these factors will lead to your success. That means like the ability of the student is seen in marks. How clever you are, how intelligent you are, that is known by your marks. Without getting proper marks, if you say that I am intelligent, I am clever, I am regular, so no one believes. Similarly, the success of the management, how efficient your management is observed by your profits. If a college has got very good management system, means naturally its results are seen. Results are observed by the parents and the society. Okay. So ultimately, the result is going to tell about the efficiency of the management. So that is the reason every management, whether it is small or big organization, every management tries to maximize their profits, improve their profits. That is the first goal. Second thing is they have to extend their operations, expand their market. Clear? Then improve their efficiency. As you all know that market doesn't remain constant. Every time the methods, the strategies, the system of market will be changing. The taste and preference of the customers will be changing. In order to tackle those things, in order to tackle the unforeseen effects of the market, you must be efficient. So you have to improve your skills. You have to improve your strategies. So that's how you have to work. So your management will be aiming at first organizational goals. Okay, your profit, your maximization of production, your market share, like that. Then, second thing is you have to look after the social objectives. What do you mean by social objectives? Remember that whenever you are appointed as a manager in the organization, you are not only responsible to your employer, your boss, but you are responsible to the society also. Always being a manager, being the part of management, you think that what best you can give to the society, what best we can give. We have to produce better quality goods at cheaper rates. You have to take care of the social requirements that like environment degradation, pollution, all these things you need to consider. Just you cannot say that I am the manager, I am okay, I've got money, I've got superior powers, I can degrade the society, I am not bothered about the society. That way you are not considered as a good management. So whenever you, in the name of maximization of profits, you are not supposed to spoil the society by supplying inferior quality goods or goods with hazards, health issues. That type of commodities you are not supposed to manufacture, you are not supposed to encourage. So being an efficient manager, one hand you have to think about your organization, the other hand you have to think about the society. What best you can give to the society? You improve your skills, you apply your experience, you apply your knowledge and see that better quality goods are produced at reasonable rates and see that the maximum number of people of the society receive the goods manufactured by you without compromising your profits. So that will be your social objectives. Then personal objectives. Personal means the employees working under you. Here personal does not mean individual. Personal means employees, workers performing under your leadership. So you need to take care of them also. Like you have to pay better salaries, better remuneration to workers, see that their standard of living is improved, their family needs are addressed. Clear? The employees have got job security. So like that you need to improve the conditions of your employees also. If employees are struggling, workers are struggling, they are dissatisfied, so automatically you are not going to achieve these organizational objectives. Achievement of organizational objectives depends upon how best your employees work. Many times I told this. Employees have to work from heart, not work from rule. They have to feel that this organization is ours. This is ours. On par with organization, we also will grow. If organization is successful, we will be successful. That sort of feeling should be developed among the employees. So how you can do? It can be done with participative management. Means give employees also a word, a share in expressing their opinion, ask them for their ideas, interact with them, improve their skills. So automatically employees will be skilled in your organization. When employees are skilled, automatically organization's management also will be skilled. They will go through your rules and regulations. Okay, they can be molded into a better manner. Very simple. See, if individual players are good, then team is good. Even though just only a captain is better, the remaining players are not performing, means we lose the match, we don't win. If you have to win the team match, your team should be good, along with the leader, along with the captain. So similarly here, if only manager is good, employees are not good, manager is not taking care of the skills and condition of the employees, then he is a flop manager. To be a successful manager, you need to take care of your subordinates' requirements also. So the objectives which focus on employees and workers of your organization are called as personal objectives. So the management has to address all these things. Okay, now nature of management. So what it deals with. Okay, just now we have discussed management is a social responsibility. It is not a individual task, like where you work in some organization and you earn money. Okay, you give your ideas. With that your job does not end. So as a manager, you have got social responsibility to the society, what you are able to give, what you can give, what best you can do for the society, what improvements you can bring in the society. So that's what a manager has to think. Means because here every individual is part of society. Even though you are a manager or a clerk, you are part of society. Your organization itself is part of society. So if you improve, you have got better results. That is the result of the society. So that is the reason Management becomes social responsibility. Next, science as well as art. Science as well as art. What is science, ma? What is science? A subject is called as science where you have got certain specified rules and conditions. Wherever you go, they give the same result. Science works according to certain rules and regulations. You got well-defined formulas. It has got universal acceptability and universal applicability. Like for example, in mathematics, you take the formula a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. It is same everywhere. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters in physics if you go for measurement. So in Telangana, if you measure, if it is measured by KCR, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters only. If it is measured by American president, then also it gives the same result. England president, prime minister, it gives the same result. Pakistan prime minister, it gives the same measurement. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters, 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. Okay, 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. All these units are universally applicable. Everywhere they give the same result. Various mathematical formulas, for example in science, for you take chemistry formula, water formula H2O, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. Okay, so you test the water of Hyderabad, water of America, water of Dubai, water of England, that H2O is same. That is called science. Means when something goes, something is seen, managed according to certain rules and regulations, and it gives the accurate results. Whenever, wherever, by whomever it is applied, it gives the same result. Anytime, any day, any person, any place, science gives the same result. That is the reason the entire world believes science. Clear? So management is also a science because we follow certain fundamental principles in management, and it is the art. What do you mean by art? Art is something, the individual talent. The way we speak, the way we dance, the way we sing, the way we draw, the way we write is a individual talent. It differs from one person to another person. It is a personal creativity, individual creativity. So management is the combination of both, because always you may not be applying the rules and regulations. Sometimes your communication, your personality, your timely, your presence of mind will give the success. Okay, so always the success of the management does not depend not only on the rules, but it is your personal talent, how you deal with, how you tackle with the issues. Clear? So, for example, suddenly a student is sick, or say she want to go home, she is not well, she came to vice principal for permission. Clear? Then the vice principal cannot go through a book. Student कब आया तो कब छोड़ना, where she is to be sent, what is to be done. So immediately you have to ask, you have to react. What is to be done? What is the condition? Whether should we go to, should we call parents, or should we admitted to a hospital, or what is to be done? Whether the students' cousins or relatives are studying in the same campus. That's all we have to search. So it is your individual talent how you react to the situation, not like rules. Clear? So management is the combination of both science as well as art. Means you will be following certain rules and regulations. At the same time, it is the personal talent that gives the result. Next, management has a distinct entity. Means it is applied at various levels of what we say is organization. It is not done for the individual level. As in my previous class I told you that it cannot be applied when only one person is there. It is a group activity when different persons are there. It is a combination of efforts. That is what called as management has a distinct entity. Next, purposive activity. Remember that management is always applied with some purpose. When there is no aim, there is no goal, there is no purpose, it is waste of applying management system, management techniques. Management techniques are applied, management rules and regulations are applied in order to achieve some target. Always with a purpose. There will be some motive behind applying the management. So that is the reason it is called that management is a purposive activity. Next, management is pervasive. Pervasive means you cannot say that management is applicable only to particular level of organization. It can be applied to any firm. Okay, whether small or big, with few, you cannot say that to apply the rules and regulations, to apply the management principles, we require 100 members and 200 workers like that. A very giant, big organization should be there. For small companies, we cannot apply management. It is not like that. Management is applied to various levels. Okay, you can extend from one level to another level according to the number of employees in your organization, according to the number of subordinates you have. So, management is applied to any scale of firm, irrespective of the number of employees working. Okay, it is a group activity. It cannot be applied to a single person, but we cannot say that management is applicable only to the large scale firms. No, everywhere you require this. At every level you require. In every department you require. Okay. Then management is a group activity. Almost every day we are discussing this. Management is a group activity. It is not a single activity. If single person, I am the person, I cannot apply the management techniques on my own. It is waste of learning management, because management is the art of getting things done through others. When others are not there, what do I apply? When subordinates are not there, my superiors are not there, in what way I apply the management principles? So it is waste. So management is a group activity. So this is the nature of management. So in the next class we will be discussing about principles of management, very interesting and important one.